Hey guys, welcome to another clip view video. Just doing some touches on this PC I've been working on for several years now. So this is the Zaku 2 build I've been working on. I have the monitor, I have the motherboard, and I just got this graphics card. I had to have it shipped over from across seas. I'll do another video on this. But for today we're going to be getting into a topic that pulls everything I've been talking about into clarity. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So today we're going to be talking about Ikigai. Bunch of kanjis, but alright. The first slide, the dawn breaks over the island of Okinawa. The sky glows pink and gold, stretching over hills of green and an ocean of endless blue. The salty air mixes with the sweetness of hibiscus blossoms and the faint smoke of firewood as families prepare breakfast. The village awakens slowly. Birds are chirping, children are laughing as they run barefoot along a dirt path, and neighbors greet each other with warm, unhurried smiles. Here life moves at the pace of nature. Elders sit on wooden porches sipping hot green tea from clay cups. The taste is earthly, slightly bitter, grounding. Their hands are weathered from decades of labor, but yet they're steady. Their eyes, lined with 100 years of mornings, sparkle as they watch another sunrise. In this village, many live not just long lives, but lives full of purpose. The secret, they say, is Ikigai. Ikigai is 2 words. Iki, which is life, and Gai, which is worth. Together, a reason for being. These are the quiet spark that makes life worth living. For some, it's tending a garden. For others, fishing, cooking, painting, teaching, raising children. Or for me, serving my community. It's not about wealth, not about status. Never has, never should. It is about waking in the morning and knowing this day matters. So we will journey into the heart of Ikigai. We will explore its ancient origins, the philosophy that shaped it, and the science that supports it. We will discover how small rituals like gardening, cooking, walking with the neighbors or your family, and maybe even laughter, become powerful acts of meaning. And we will learn how you, yes, you too, can uncover your own Ikigai. Because whether you live in the quiet hills of Okinawa or the restless streets like I do in the modern city, the question remains the same. Why do you wake up in the morning? What is your Ikigai? To understand Ikigai, we must first return to the beginning. Not the boardrooms, not the self-help books, especially of today, but the ancient soil of Japan, centuries ago, when life was tied to nature, community, and spirit. Man, I wish I lived in a time like that. Imagine a small village during the Heian period. More than 1,000 years ago, the morning mist clings to the rice paddies. Farmers in straw hats bend low, planting seedlings by hand. Sound of water trickles through the irrigation channels, and the smell of damp earth rises as the sun climbs higher. In these times, survival itself was purpose. To work the land, to raise children, to honor the ancestors and your parents, and live in harmony with the seasons. But the Japanese people cared something deeper than survival. Through Shinto, the ancient way of the kami, spirits of wind, river, tree. That's probably what I should do my next piece on, is kami. Life was seen as sacred. Every act, even the smallest, could carry meaning. To gather herbs was to care for your family. To sweep the house was to create purity. To sing while working was to honor the spirits of words itself. This is where the seeds of Ikigai were planted. The Ikigai would not appear in the exact form we know until much later. It is the essence was already alive. In high poetry, Buddhist teachings, teachings of mindfulness, really, and in the tea rituals that slowed time itself. Each carried the idea that life's worth is not in grand achievements, but in the beauty of everyday existence. There is an old story of a Zen monk who spent his days raking the monastery garden. Visitors would ask him, "Why spend so much time in the dirt when you could be teaching, writing, or traveling?" The monk would just smile and reply, "Because when I write, I see the garden more clearly. When the garden is clear, my heart is clear. That is enough." His Ikigai was not found in fame or recognition, but in the quiet perfection of a single act. Centuries later, in Okinawa, far from the mainland, these ideas found their purest form. Isolated by the sea, people lived by fishing, farming, and community, with little wealth and a few luxuries. They instead cultivated bonds with their neighbors. They celebrated festivals, and they shared food. To live was to belong, and to belong was to have purpose. It is no accident that Okinawa became the cradle of longevity, where Ikigai was not theory, but daily practice. From these roots, Ikigai grew into a philosophy that has endured through war, modernization, and globalization. It has whispered through the centuries. The purpose is not found in chasing what we lack, but in cherishing what we already hold. But what exactly is Ikigai? How can we define it beyond poetry and stories? Well, let's go ahead and explore the famous four circles of Ikigai then. It's passion, it's the mission, vocation, and the profession. And we'll see how they overlap to form a map, guiding us toward a life worth living. Okay, so we're going to start by just simply trying to imagine a simple diagram, okay? Four circles, and each one overlapping the other, like a mandala. One circle is your passion, and another is your mission, and the third is your vocation. And finally, in the fourth is your profession. Where all four meet, at the center lies your Ikigai. The reason you wake each morning with purpose. So let's break it down further. The first circle, passion, right? The first circle begins with love, actually. What stirs your heart? What activity makes time disappear where hours pass like minutes? For some, it's painting. For others, it's cooking. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's teaching. Better yet, maybe it's just playing music. In Japan, there's no shame in small passions, like arranging flowers, doing origami, which is just folding paper. Maybe for me, like it's just carving wood. What matters is not scale, but sincerity. The second circle is your mission. It's not what you want, but what others need. In ancient villages, this was clear. The farmer grew the rice, the fisherman caught the fish, the teacher guided children. Each role was an answer to the needs of the community. Today, the world is vast and noisy, yet the principle remains, okay? Our purpose deepens when it touches others. Now, our third circle, which is profession. In the modern world, we cannot ignore livelihood. To have Ikigai does not mean to reject money, but to harmonize it. When what we do to survive aligns with what we enjoy, we move closer to balance. Balance in our own hearts, balance in our own lives, balance in general. But when they clash, we feel the weight of disconnection. The fourth circle is your vocation, not vacation. Well, I wish. It's the talents and strengths you have cultivated. Some are natural, like a gift for words, or maybe it's a steady hand, maybe it's a sharp mind. Others are learned through years of practice. When we use our strengths, life feels lighter, as though we are carried by an unseen current. Now, picture the four circles overlapping: your passion, your mission, your vocation, and your profession. Yeah, right? Passion, mission, profession, vocation. Yep. Now, at the center lies Ikigai. It is not only about happiness, nor only about duty. It is the harmony of what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can sustain. It is balance, flowing like water, yet it's strong like a stone. Alright, so we're going to pause for a moment, okay? Now just imagine these four circles in your own life. I want you to ask yourself, what do I love so deeply that time disappears when I do it? What does the world around me truly need that I could give? What skills or talents come naturally to me? And finally, how could I live from these things, not just in spirit, but in livelihood? So go ahead and just take these questions. Maybe sketch an, outline and form your own Ikigai. Because in Okinawa, Ikigai is not drawn on paper, but lived in daily rhythms. Gardening, cooking, caring for family, laughing with neighbors, family, and friends. In the next chapter, we will leave the diagram. We'll step into daily life. We will see how Ikigai is woven not into theories, but into the morning routines, the meals, the friendships, the rituals that give each day its worth. Ikigai is not only found in grand missions or careers. In Japan, it is most alive in small, ordinary rituals of daily living. To see Ikigai in action, let us walk through a single day in a village in Okinawa, for example. The sun rises, casting golden light over tiled rooftops. An elderly woman begins her morning by opening the sliding paper doors of her home. Cool air flows in, carrying the fragrance of the sea. She bows slightly toward the family altar, where a photo of her parents rests beside a small offering of flowers. For this old woman, this moment is not a habit, but it's gratitude. It's a reminder of where she came from. Her Ikigai begins with remembrance. She prepares tea, steaming, curling upward in the dim light. As she sips, she listens. She listens to the distant call of the birds, to her own breath, to the stillness. In the silence, she feels connected. This too is Ikigai, finding worth not in noise, but in presence. By late morning, the village is now alive. Men and women work their gardens, bending low in the soil. The smell of earth mixes with the sweetness of ripe fruit. Every task has a rhythm. Chop, plant, water, harvest. Chop, plant, water, harvest. To outsiders, it may seem repetitive, but to those who live it, these tasks are prayers in motion. In the afternoon, neighbors gather under the shade of a banyan tree. They sit on wooden benches, fanning themselves in the warm breeze. Someone plays a shamisen. The strings echoing like laughter. Others bring food. Rice balls, grilled fish, sweet potatoes. The flavors are simple but nourishing, shared without measure. They talk of small things, like the weather, their children, the garden harvest. Yet these conversations carry the weight of belonging. To belong is to have purpose. Modern life often confuses purpose with achievement. But here Ikigai is found not in standing above others, but in standing together. Each person is valued, not for what they own, but for who they are. As night falls, lanterns flicker in the windows. Families gather for dinner. The taste of miso soup. Oh, I could go for some miso soup right now. It warms the tongue. Its aroma is filling the air with comfort. Children's laughter echoes. Elders tell stories. And the house becomes a circle of memory. Later, under a blanket of stars, the village falls quiet. The waves crash softly against the shore. Tomorrow will bring the same rhythms, gardens, meals, conversations, rituals. Yet each day carries fresh meaning, because Ikigai is not a destination. It is a way of being. In Okinawa, Ikigai is not taught in schools, nor written in books. It is breathed in the morning air, tasted in shared meals, and carried in the hands that work the soil. It is lived, not spoken. But science too has begun to notice what these people have always known. But purpose is not just philosophy. It is a medicine for the body and the mind and the soul. And so in this next part, we will turn to the science of psychology and Ikigai. Because, I gotta throw some proof in there, right? And we'll discover how purpose can extend life, it can heal the spirit, and it will transform the way we live and how we see the world around us. Now, we've seen Ikigai as a form of life in Okinawa. But let's step into the realm of science for a second, right? Well, science and psychology. Researchers, doctors, psychologists, they all have begun to measure what purpose does to the human body and the mind. What they found is actually very astonishing. Purpose doesn't just give meaning. It can literally give years to your life. And this we will invite you to pause with me, alright? We'll reflect and even try simple exercise. These exercises are not just for you guys, they're for me too. And we'll discover our own Ikigai. So, the longevity of connection, right? So, studies of Okinawans, I think that's how you would say it, right? People who live in Okinawa are Okinawans. Sardinian. The blue zones, okay? They reveal that people with a strong sense of purpose live longer, healthier lives. Purpose reduces stress. Stress hormones like cortisol, improves cardiovascular health, and it strengthens the immune system like you would never believe. I won't bore you with more stories. I got plenty over here, but maybe another day. So, the paper I read, it was from Viktor Frankl. He observed that people who found meaning could endure unimaginable suffering. Neuroscience shows that when you pursue meaningful activities, your brain releases dopamine and oxytocin. It's the chemistry of motivation and connection. Psychologists describe Ikigai as intrinsic motivation. Doing what feels right, not what earns extra rewards. Alright, so our first one is going to be our morning reflection exercise. So pause for a moment. Close your eyes if you can. Take a slow, deep breath. And now ask yourself, when I wake up in the morning, what small thing excites me? It doesn't have to be grand, okay? It could be a smile of your child, the warmth of your coffee or your tea. Maybe it's the project on your desk. Let that imagine rise in your mind. That is the beginning of our Ikigai. Western culture often ties worth to achievement. Money, fame, productivity, everything the American dream. But studies show happiness plateaus once basic needs are met. Beyond that, joy comes not from more, but from meaning. We're always about wanting new things. Oh, new iPhone came out. Whoa, the new Power Mac. Or Mac Pro. Or new tablet. New movie. New car. It's always people trying to justify themselves where they stand in society with how much they have. But where's the meaning? What's the meaning of having more than your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your mom, or your dad? Should have meaning. A Japanese potter spends 40 years, okay, making one style of a teacup. Too many? This would seem monotonous, right? Monotonous, sorry. But to him, it's every curve, every glaze, every imperfection is a lifetime of discovery. His Ikigai is not in the outcome, but in the act itself. Alright, so we talked about the 4 circles, right? What I love, what am I good at, what the world needs, what I can be paid for or sustain myself with. Now in each circle write down a few answers, alright? Don't overthink this. Just let your mind flow like water in a stream. Where the circles overlap, you may glimpse the shape of your Ikigai. Even if it is unclear, just trust the process. You are planting seeds today that will grow tomorrow. So in the medical field, Harvard research, people with a sense of purpose live on average 7 years longer. 7 years. That's crazy. That's what an unbalanced lifestyle does to you. Causes stress, worry, pain. Patients who rediscovered hobbies or social roles, they heal faster from illnesses. Purpose doesn't just protect the body, it also strengthens the mental health, lowering depression and anxiety. That's right, your anxiety can be lowered. Ikigai is not always about destiny. Sometimes it lives in micro moments, like right now. So, like for me, try to think of 3 small joys in my life. Maybe it's a taste, maybe it's a smell, a sound, maybe the crunch of fresh bread, maybe it's the laughter of the guy sitting at the end of the bar, or the way sunlight filters through the window. I just try to write it down. So these are just tiny little sparks. They're repeated daily. And I keep doing this daily. They'll weave together into a fabric of purpose. Because science confirms that tradition whispers that Ikigai is a medicine for the body and the soul. But knowing the science is only half the journey, guys. To understand it fully, we will have to dive into the practical steps of discovering Ikigai in full. Not as an idea, but as a compass for your entire life. So we've explored the roots of Ikigai, its framework, the science behind it. Now it's time to turn inward. Yes, that's right. Look into yourselves. Because it's time to discover our own Ikigai, okay? The reason for being? Well, it's a journey that begins with reflection. It's honesty. It can be small, it can be big, but this needs to be an intentional exercise And we need to be asking ourselves, what brings us joy? What activities make our heart race? Our minds disappear. Our spirits, right? Our own spirit feeling alive. This isn't about what looks impressive or profitable. How could it? It's about what genuinely lights you up. So, I used to like take a notebook, right? And I would just jot down 10 things that I love. There's no limit. Sometimes I'd include more, but at least try it for 10. Even some days that seemed hard. But at least if I was jotting down something, it was actually a big step in small joys. Like music, storytelling, helping others, walking in nature. Big one for me. Cooking my favorite meal. So the tip I found out is never overthink. Let your first instinct flow. These are clues to your passion. The second step is identifying your strengths. This could be natural talents or skills developed over time. What comes easy to you that might be difficult for others? Where do you feel confident? Once again, I would write down 10 more skills, or these would be part of those 10 skills. Cooking, painting, problem solving, teaching. Maybe it's just simply listening without empathy. Maybe it's listening with empathy. And when I failed on those, I would just ask a friend, or maybe a family member, what do you think I'm naturally good at? Sometimes others see our gifts clearer than we do. Purpose is amplified when it serves others. Because it has meaning. It made us feel good that we helped someone. That's when we need to reflect on where your passions and your skills can meet the needs of the world, your community, or even a single person. And then, I'll just write down 3 to 5 ways my skills or my passions can help others. And see, if I was constantly trying to put something down now. Because, volunteering, maybe it's teaching someone like I'm trying to do here. Maybe it's creating, which once again, this is a form of that. Maybe it's just me trying to spread kindness. But they're all small acts, but they have the most longest term contributions. Ikigai does not ignore the practicalities of life. To live fully, your purpose must be sustainable. This does not always mean monetizing your passion, but finding ways to align it with livelihood, resources, and daily routines. How I do this, I'd just sit there and I'd just brainstorm ways that my skills or my passions could be supported. What can I do to support? It could be my profession, yeah? A side project. It's not really a sustainable hobby, but, what you put into something, you get back. So yeah, if I built 100 of these and I sold them, that's my passion. That's what I enjoy. That's where my hours can feel like literally minutes, literally. Constantly changing, constantly improving, constantly fixing, updating. And I give those out to others. That's like Picasso doing his thing, and giving it to the world. Michelangelo. Bob Ross, right? Doing his painting, his little happy tree over here. Where are those paintings now? How many did he do? Exactly, see? He did what he enjoyed. That was his Ikigai. Because it was giving. He was living and he was giving. But now if we combine the 4 areas, right? Our love, our strengths, needs, and sustainability. Where they overlap is the heart of the Ikigai. Your Ikigai is the heart of my Ikigai. It's everyone's Ikigai. Even if it's not perfect yet, this map gives direction and clarity though. So lay out. Think which activity aligns all 4 of them. Which small step can you take today toward it? Ikigai is not a sudden revelation. It is a daily practice. Begin with micro steps, okay guys? A small act of passioning is all it takes. A brief moment of service. Like holding the door open for somebody when they're leaving the store. Or a building. As simple as that. It's a habit lined with purpose. These compound into fulfillment. Because Ikigai evolves. Your skills, your passion, and your circumstances change. Reflect regularly, right? Adjust your actions. Stay curious. Stay compassionate at the same time. The journey of Ikigai is lifelong. It's not a day thing, and then I don't know, maybe I'll pick it up next week, It's an everyday thing. Because each day offers a chance to deepen it. Alright, so we're going to do just one more exercise. We're going to take another few moments now, alright? We're going to close our eyes. And I want you to imagine a day where you lived aligned with your Ikigai. What do you do first thing in the morning? What do you interact with? Who do you interact with? How does your heart feel in that moment? What does your surroundings in that moment tell you? Yeah. How does your heart feel about that? Just let this vision guide your next steps, alright? Because many hesitate to pursue what they love because they fear failure. They fear the whispers. What if I'm not good enough? Or maybe it's, what if no one appreciates my work? Some hesitate because what they hear others whisper. Because of him, we all have to stay later. Because of him, we all got written off. So, the hardest thing for me was to write down one fear that stops me from pursuing something meaningful. But always next to it, I wrote one small action that I could take today despite the fear. I would reflect on it multiple times throughout the day. Just tiny steps. Because those tiny steps, they weakened my fear. And they strengthened my purpose. They helped me heal. Ikigai wanted to start teaching, right? She wanted to teach calligraphy to children, but she feared she wasn't skilled enough. She started with one student, one lesson, one afternoon per week. Each a success, no matter how small, gave her courage and slowly built her Ikigai. So if fear is our first thing, then obviously that's our first obstacle, right? Is our fear and our failure. So what other would be another obstacle? How about expectations? Yeah. Simple as that, just expectations. Family, culture, society. They often define what success looks like. Chasing their definitions is just going to drown your own purpose. Ikigai thrives when your heart's calling for alignment. When your vibration's off and it's trying to recalibrate. That is a calling. It's a calling for your own values, not just others' expectations, but your own expectations, your own values, your own boundaries. So I just write down 3 expectations that I feel most pressured by, right? They change daily. Then I write my personal truth for each. What do I value the most? And then I compare the two. And I would always notice where my authentic Ikigai may differ from external pressure. So obstacle 3, it's a real thing. It's burnout. It's overwhelmed. Even when meaningful work can become draining, we lose balance, overcommitting or neglecting self-care. It can obscure your purpose. Neglecting self-care, it's how we get sick. So this one is where I find my energy. I list my daily activities. I note in my head which brings energy and joy versus which drains me. And then I just try to identify one activity I can reduce or adjust to restore my balance. And some feel lost because they have not yet discovered what truly matters to them. This is natural. Ikigai is a journey. It's not a finish line. It's not the destination. It is the way. So, some small experiments if you want to try yourself. Yeah. Try small intentional actions aligned with your interests. A short creative project, volunteering, mentoring, or learning a skill. Observe your emotional response. So yes, look in. Reflect in. Turn inward. When you do that, then that's when you'll be aware of your emotional responses. How emotional am I? And that also can help you realize what energizes you. What feels meaningful. Over time, these experiments, they will reveal patterns that point toward your Ikigai. So, I just want you to remember, obstacles are not signs to stop. They are guides showing where to focus. Fear, expectations, burnout, uncertainty, they're all part of the path. The exercise in this video is what I call courage mapping. They're value checks. You're checking those values. You're checking your energy and you're auditing it. And you're doing these by just micro experiments. Just small little tasks, small little things. Because they give you tools to move forward intentionally. So every time you can pause, try to consider your own barriers. Pick one to address today. You don't need to take them all on at once. Just one at a time. That's balance. That's how we move forward. We grow. We heal. Even a single step forward is progress. But I want you to remember, Ikigai is not about perfection. It's about purposeful, consistent action. So, now that we have explored the origins, the framework, science, and obstacles of Ikigai, it's time to bring it home. Ikigai is not a concept to admire from afar. It is something to live, to breathe, and to practice every single day. So, you want to know how? Glad you asked. Morning rituals, okay? That's where it starts. Because those are your start with an intention. Because the day begins the moment you open your eyes. You rise early. Not out of obligation, but just to greet the morning. Just to get up to see the sun rise. Do some stretching. Sip some tea. Tend your small garden, your lawn. And then just start to set your intentions for the day. They're mornings. Yes, I understand, they're mornings, but hey, mornings can be quiet, but yet purposeful. So what I do each morning, I pause for 3 to 5 minutes. I take a deep breath and I ask, what is one meaningful thing I'll do today? I might not achieve it, but hey, at least I started in the right direction, right? And then I ask for the second thing is, how can I bring joy to myself and others? I should be writing it down, but I say it out loud sometimes. Sometimes I'll just say it in my head when I look inward. So my small intentions, they set the tone for my purposeful day. So Whether you cook, you write, teach, or build, immerse yourself fully in the task at hand, okay? Flow, focus, and presence are the essence of Ikigai. So for me, I wasn't happy with the lifestyle. It seemed chaotic, seemed toxic. So what I do is I just pick one routine activity. Maybe it's like washing the dishes, going for a walk with the dogs in the morning, making the tea. I'd make my tea very slowly, as if I'm watching each drop flow into my cup, paying attention to that moment. My sight, what does it see? Smell. Is that good smell? Is that bad? Does it bring memories back? The sound around me. The touch of the warmth. And finally, the taste. Now, have you guys noticed how just that focus alone transforms the mundane into a purposeful act? Ikigai thrives in relationships, sharing, helping, and connecting with others. It nurtures purpose. We often spend mornings with our neighbors, our family, friends, or for me, with the dogs or by myself. Afternoons and the nights, I'm helping children. Yeah, there might be criminals. Can't blame them for, not being brought up properly. Having someone there that actually cared to show them the way, to teach them properly, to be friendly towards them, show them love. Because, we all need our neighbors. We all need our friends. We all need family members or our colleagues, co-workers. It's that bond in life that makes us feel like we're complete. It often offers mostly our genuine attention. Because, when you help others, or your kindness, it helps them, cheers them up, brightens their day. When their day's brightened, yours is brightened because you now have purpose. Your purpose was just succeeded. You fulfilled it. For example, you woke up and said, I want to make this person, I need to make one person smile today. Alright, so you stop to get a quick coffee, right? As you're leaving, you open the door for the person that's trying to come in while you're going out and say, good morning, how's your day going? And the person pauses at that moment, realizing that you just made that connection with them. And they smile and say, it's going good, thank you for asking. Boom. Your mission was just achieved. See? Simple. That's why I said they're micro steps. Just be yourself. My days usually end with exhaustion. But this is the time I usually spend the most with reflection. Today successful. I had to go hands-on with a kid because he was throwing punches at another kid. It was exhausting. I reflect on it now after work and I'm come to peace with that. And then I bury that. So that was a challenge. And I rose above it I acted. I didn't think about it, I acted. I acted in the moment. And in doing so, I was able to break that fight up and protect the safety of everyone in that unit at work. Where did my purpose emerge from? From me working on the whole not freezing thing. Yeah, fight, flight, or freeze. I always froze. Because I took the steps of trying to heal myself. I practice. Repeat. Keep doing it. And it all paid off. Those little micro steps paid off to a big step. My trauma. That's why I froze. In the past. It wasn't easy seeing my mom get beat up by other guys. It wasn't easy watching my brothers do criminal stuff just so they could fit in and be popular with their friends. It wasn't easy seeing my mom and my stepdad fight to the point where they don't hardly ever talk to each other anymore, yet alone see each other. That's where my trauma came from in my childhood. I didn't know how to fix it till now. But I knew that, hey, I always stuck out like the lost piece of the puzzle. I just never fit in. Now, that bothered me for a while. But I learned to accept it over time. Definitely learned how to accept that. Grow from that. Be better from that. And I found true strength in that. So how can you love somebody if you don't love yourself? How can you trust somebody if you don't trust yourself? How can you be yourself if others can't be themselves? Simple. Don't pay attention to what they do. Focus on you. What makes you happy? This is what I'm talking about. Your Ikigai. Your purpose. Your purpose isn't to be a cookie cutter and fit in with everyone around you. Blend in. No. You should be trying to stand out. Don't be afraid of the nail that sticks up is the one that gets hammered. But be the one that stands out where people's attentions drift to. Be the voice of reason. Be the act of kindness. And when you got something to share, share it. Because the Ikigai is built through constant habits. Tiny acts. It's walking. It's journaling. It's learning. It's growing. Mentally, spiritually, physically. It's sharing. It's creating. They're all compound over time, and they create a life of fulfillment. Even 10 minutes a day devoted to this passion, to this connection, to this reflection, is transformative. So yeah, like I said, it was a small action I repeated daily. That daily came a week, that week became several weeks became months became years. What I should have been doing though is I should have been tracking my feelings. Does it energize me? Does it make me calm? Does it inspire me? Or better yet, does it give me anxiety? Does it stress me out? Does it scare me? Am I afraid? What do I do now? Where do I go? Did I just lose focus of my Ikigai? Maybe I'm supposed to be forming a new Ikigai. If you think that, start all over then. Start in your morning. Start with your work. Start with your relationships. Your reflections. Because they all become threads in tapestry of your purpose. We're constantly changing, so our Ikigais will be constantly changing. But if we can find our ma, which is our silence in between things, our kodadama, which is our meaning in our words, life feels very purposeful. That's our Ikigai. It's purpose, right? See? All this is coming around. Our wa, our ma, our kododama. And on and on and on. So as our journey comes full circle, guys, let us step back and look at the Ikigai, not just as a personal compass, but as a legacy, okay? It's a gift that transcends generations. From the quiet villages of Okinawa to every corner of the modern world. Ikigai reminds us that life is not measured by years alone, by the meaning woven into each day. So yeah, pass down wisdom, even if they're through stories. Share your rituals, practice your rituals. Share your work. Finish your work. Because Ikigai is not taught in textbooks. It is lived and it's observed. Children watch us, guys, okay? They watched our... We were children. Who do we look up to, huh? Our parents. Unless, you had an older sibling, you might have looked up to them. And where did we learn? From them. By observing them. And those small acts, they gave purpose that rippled outward. By living with meaning, each generation leaves a legacy of purpose for the next. From like a quiet farm, in a bustling office, or in a classroom, it's the principle that a meaningful life is built from action, from reflection, from care. So I want to ask you guys, what legacy do you want to leave behind? If you already know how I feel about legacy. I don't want to leave a legacy behind. It doesn't have to be monumental. That's what they tell me. Consider your values, they say. Your habits. Small acts of your kindness, Joe, yes. They can pass to your families and your friends and your community. True. But that's not my legacy. My legacy is to grow, to learn, and make small steps forward every day. Be better than what I was yesterday. Because the modern life is busy. It's even chaotic. And it's very distracting. But yeah, Ikigai teaches me that purpose can exist in small, deliberate moments. Like a mindful cup of tea, shared conversation, creative project. truth. Truth is, life is different, but each demonstrates the same truth, though. Fulfillment is not a destination, but a path walked day by day. That's the truth. It's the truth of all truths. So reflect on your passions, your strengths, and your values. Think about one small, consistent action you can take this week to live your Ikigai. Consider who benefits from this action. Is it your family, your friends, is it the community, or even just yourself? For me, it was myself. And I committed, just like you should, committed to it for at least a week, alright? Observing just the subtle changes in energy, focus, and joy. Because Ikigai is more than a philosophy or science, guys. It's living, it's breathing, and it's evolving in you. It is the gentle yet persistent reminder that every day holds meaning. Every action matters, okay? Every life can leave a legacy of purpose, whether through work, play, creation, connection. Ikigai is your invitation to live fully, intentionally, joyfully. So as you move forward, alright, carry this truth. The reason you wake in the morning is not just to exist, but to engage, to give, to create, and to love. Your Ikigai is waiting, alright? Not in some distant future, but in every moment of today. So, I tried, explain it in multiple ways. Storytelling, practical exercises, even my research with science and philosophy. And then most of all, I was trying to leave a lasting impact by talking about legacy and living purposefully. So as our journey comes to a close, guys, just take a deep breath and let these words settle. You have explored the origins of Ikigai with me, alright? We done. We walked through its history, we discovered its framework, and experienced its presence in everyday life. You reflected, written, hopefully, and you imagined. Now it's time to carry it forward. And remember, Ikigai is not a final destination. It's a living compass. Some say moral compass. Some say it's common sense. But either way, guys, it's guiding you through the ordinary and extraordinary moments of life. Your passions, your strengths, service, sustainable actions from the heart of your purpose. Even the smallest step taken today ripples outward, guys, shaping tomorrow, alright? So if I had to do a call of action, I would just simply say, as you move beyond this video, comment down below what you commit to one tangible action. What was that action? Perhaps it's a small ritual. Maybe it's how you do your mornings. Maybe it's a moment of connection with someone you care about. Or dedicating time to a passion you've long ignored. Passion you've ignored, guys. Whatever it is, alright? Just take it forward intentionally if you don't want to share. Just take it intentionally and let it grow. Let it inspire. And let it shape your life. And if this seems even complicated, just take a paper down and write this down. And ask yourself this at least once a day. And I quote, "What is one thing I can do tomorrow to live my Ikigai?" And as you read that, I want you to visualize it. I want you to feel it. Plan it. And let it anchor your purpose as you anchor yourself. So I just want to say thank you for taking this journey with me. May your days be full of purpose, your work filled with joy, and your heart open to the beauty in every moment. Just step forward with courage, guys. Step forward with intention. Step forward to your Ikigai. Thank you guys for watching Clipview.